Hello guys, I hope that everyone is doing well. Today is going to be the third episode of this series. Is the Meta Plus catalog worth it? So as we know, Meta Plus do provide a membership that provides Meta users to have free games. Now, each month they do provide two more games to the collection. Right now, as I'm speaking, we are at 16 games, which is a lot, right? Now, talking about the previous episodes, I always review 4 games at a time, each episode, talking about them, giving my honest review, showing some clips regarding to the game. So today I'm going to do the same thing. Now, today's games are going to be Sports Scrambles, Fruit Ninja, Jurassic World, and Until You Fall. Now, I have never played any of those games, but Fruit Ninja. Okay, who's gonna lie? We all played that game back in the days, or even at some point in our lives. It is a well-known game, honestly, and I'm quite surprised that they actually brought Fruit Ninja and Angry Bird on VR. It is such a nice idea, honestly, bringing OG games back to the to the new consoles like VR. Anyway, I'm not going to take a lot of time for the intro. I don't want to bore you guys. So let's get directly to the games. Let's play the first one. Let's go. Alright, so jumping on the first game, it is called Sports Scramble. I don't think I can elaborate more on the point of the game. It's literally in the name of that game. It's literally sports, right? So what happened is you have 3 sports that you can play. You got tennis, bowling, and baseball. But honestly, I did try for a bit, and I'm not really gonna stay too much on that game because it's not that great, to be honest. I feel like the reason why they did put it as a free game in the Meta Plus subscription, it is because it's not really the best sport game ever. As you play tennis or as you play bowling or even baseball, I don't know. It feels like. Do you guys know how the first games of VRs came out? They were not that great, but they were cool to see because, right, it would show us how cool a VR is, how you can turn your head around to look all around you. Well, that's the game. That's basically how I feel about that game. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing amazing. The quality is pretty cool, but I do feel like it is meant for children. If you're beyond a certain age, I don't think you're going to have any fun in this game. That's for sure. So now, regarding to the mobility of the game, you do move a lot. I'm not gonna lie, you do have to swing your hands from time to time when you play tennis, bowling, or baseball. Uh, but again, it's not. I'm going to play some clips for you guys. But honestly, I'm not gonna say too much for that game. If I have to rate out of 10, I might put 6.4. Right? It passes. Right? It's beyond 6 out of 10, but it does not go beyond 7. That's for sure. So 6.4. All right. So that's pretty much for this game. I'll get to the next one. Let's go. All right, so for the second game for today's episode, it is going to be Fruit Ninja. Honestly, I'm not sure what I can say about this game that can, give you more knowledge or more information. Everyone played that game once in their lifetime, but honestly, the I think I can say something about it specifically since I'm playing it on VR. It is another vibe. It is completely another world. It's not the same. It's truly not the same game as Fruit Ninja when we were playing on the telephone, right? Where it is only 2D and it is only on one screen and that's it. No, you're actually watching the fruits coming out of pipes and you need to slash them with knives. So what's cool is both of your hands have actual swords. So when you do cut it, you can also cut another fruit with the other hand, right? With the other sword that you have. And honestly, what's cool is they give you option, right? They give you option on what type of sword do you want to have in your hands, and they do have a lot of types, right? As you can see right now over on the screen, they do give you a good amount of options. But honestly, there's nothing much to say, right? There is some few game mode. There's arcade, survival, etc. But it's the typical for Ninja. I think the only difference that you'll have playing VR Fruit Ninja, it is that you'll see the actual fruit in front of you with your VR instead of seeing it on the screen. But that's the only difference. Now, regarding to the rating, I'll put it also. It doesn't go beyond 6.8. That's it. It doesn't go beyond 7. That's for sure. It is that type of game that you'll show your friends how cool a VR is, right? But after playing for 5 to 10 minutes, you'll get tired of it and just move on to another game that's cool or that's online where you can play with friends. All right, so that's pretty much for this game right now. Let's get to the next one. Let's go. All right, so now for the third game, Jurassic Park. Honestly, I just played it for a couple of hours and I had a lot of fun. Basically, the point of the game is it's a solo game, right? It's a story game, so you're not going to have any online co-op. You're not going to play with friends. It does give the same vibe as the game Red Matter that we played on the last episode, where it's a solo game. You do play, there is a story behind it, and you have to get through every obstacle with puzzles or with interactions with the object. You have to press a button, you have to switch this, you have to look into ways to enter a facility. So now for the storyline, you're basically going to the island of the Jurassic Park, which has been invaded by dinosaurs. So basically, there's no facility, there's no maintenance anymore. It's a ghost town. You have to go there, find some articles, etc. Now, regarding to the mobility of the game, you can literally sit and play the game, or you can even stand up and move around. But it's not going to require a lot of energy, a lot of sudden turns, or moving too much with your biceps or with your hands. You should be fine if you just want to chill around, sit on a chair and play that game. It's not going to be the type of game where you're going to sweat after playing it. It's one of those casual, taking your time, having fun, experiencing. It's a visual game too, right? I feel like they made such a good work for the visual. So that's pretty much honestly for that game. There's nothing much to say regarding to the animation, the movements, the storyline. And if I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it a solid 8. It's really nice. You're going to have a good time. So it's an 8 out of 10 and that's it. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much for this game. Let's get to the next one. Let's go. All right, so for the last game for today's episode, it is going to be Until You Fall. Honestly, personally, I had a lot of fun playing it. It is such a nice, challenging, I have to precise, challenging game. Oh my god, I can't even count the numbers of times that I died in that game. But the point of the game is you literally go round by round. In each round, there's a couple of monsters that you have to beat, and then once you beat everyone in that specific round, you go to the next one until you fall. Right? That's it. So one thing I can let you know is you will move a lot during that game. They do give you the option to sit down during the whole time, but no, I'm not advising you to do that, honestly. If you want the full experience, you need to get up, you need to look around, you need to move your hands so many times. You will get tired and you will be sweaty, honestly. So now regarding to the game itself, there's no storyline. So there's no story, there's no characters. It's basically you going round after round until you fall. That's literally it. So it is going to be that type of game that you're not going to play every time, but every now and then when you have nothing to do or when you don't have a lot of time to play a game, or if you don't want to invest too much of your day into one game and you just want to do something right quick, it's going to be that game. You hop on the game, you play around after round until you fall, until you die, and then you just leave the game. But honestly, I do feel like I'm going to keep that game in my library because honestly, genuinely, it is quite fun. There's a lot of tactic in the game. It seems like they did put a lot of work into it. I do feel that that's the case. But honestly, that's pretty much for this game. I'm going to rate it a good 8.4. So before I end this video, I'm just going to show you some clips of the game so at least you'll have a glimpse of what I'm talking about. So here you go. All right, well, that's it for today's episode. Now, what I do in each episode is so at the end of each episode, what I do is I give my honest opinion and I do rank the games, right? One, two, three to the last game, the fourth one. Now, the fourth one is going to be obvious. It is Sports Scrambles. Honestly, the worst game for today's episode. Now, for the third one, I'm going to put Fruit Ninja. Hey, listen, I did enjoy playing that game. It's not a bad game, but hey, it's just a nostalgic game that they brought into the VR. Once you play after 5 to 10 minutes, honestly, you get bored. You'll get bored. It is as simple as that, honestly. Now, for the second, right, the second game, it will be Jurassic Park. Personally, I would rate it as the first game, but personally, Until You Fall is much better. It is more fun, it is more challenging, it is more competitive, and those are my type of games. So maybe for you, if you would choose Jurassic Park as the first one, I would totally understand. All right, well, that's it for today's episode. I genuinely hope that you enjoyed watching my video, and hopefully, I'll make a new one as soon as possible. I'll see you next time. Take care.